Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It's a Thursday. You know what that means. It's Family Feud Day on Baseball is Dead.
Hell yeah.
Big show today. Big show for a Thursday. We usually don't have like a loaded show on Thursdays because it's right after the Wednesday episode. Wednesdays are usually meatier. Now, it's Hot Seat Wednesday. So if you didn't check out the Bob Nightingale Hot Seat episode yesterday, definitely check that out. He was great. Had plenty of stories that were very entertaining. But today, in addition to Family Feud, which we do every Thursday, and then we have Joseph Mondays, the Thursday episode has a ton of news items. I mean, I was going through the news items this morning and I was like, can this one be left off? Can that one be left off to make it a little bit tighter? And what I arrived at is no. I feel like we got to hit on every single thing that was on this rundown. So let's just jump right. Not everything has to be a massive discussion, but I think everyone, Jayhay, correct me if I'm wrong, everything had to be at least noted, right?
Brother, I loved the rundown this morning. I love it when you don't leave anything off. I think you're right. It's all essential.
All meat, no fat this morning.
Love it when you give it all to me.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do.
So without further ado, in the leadoff spot, it is Jackson Holliday.
I was going to say, this rundown absolutely blew the fucking facial hair off Jayhay. That's what happened this morning.
I love Jayhay.
Thank you.
I'll just leave it at that.
Jared, we'll start here. I asked, the first thing I said was the same exact thing, almost the same exact thing you said the first time. I just grabbed the mic and I looked at Jayhay and I went, why the fuck did you do that?
Yeah.
And you said the exact same thing.
I mean, he looks 15 years younger with a clean shaven face. But
are you kidding? I thought I was doing the podcast with Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
I was like,
man, that's
Ellen's
gonna be
talking baseball.
Some of my friends are gonna like that joke. That's gonna be a callback.
It's okay. I got a friend that his nickname is Noodle, but we also call him Ellen because he very much looks like Ellen DeGeneres, and it's not at all out of pocket for anybody to just yell Ellen in public and him turn around.
I mean, with Jayhay here, I mean, he went from like grizzled veteran of the podcast to like, so we've got a new intern, fresh out of college, first gig in baseball. It's little
really
Justin.
Excited. Yeah.
little Justin making his debut on the pod today.
I was telling Jake and Dallas before you hopped on that I think it had been 15 or 20 years since I'd gotten a new electric razor, and I got a new one and
had to show it off, I guess.
I mean, absolutely incredible how far the technology has come. I mean, it just went through that thing like a hot knife through butter.
And you stop at the face?
So that is out of pocket.
It's fair. Fair question.
It's a fair question.
Fair question.
I mean, I absolutely stopped at the face.
Okay.
But yeah, no, my chest hasn't seen a razor its whole life, probably.
Damn.
I
don't have any hair on my back.
That's not my style.
If I didn't shave my chest, like it just goes. Like I have to at least buzz it and trim it. But yeah, no hair on my back. But my chest hair, I could put that shit in a ponytail if I didn't keep it under control.
I was gonna say you could rope swing into a lake off of my chest hair.
Yeah.
Shout out Alex Santos, a guy that I played ball with,
Sure.
who was a cagey vet when I was in AA and he was in AA. I think he was salty, to say the least, but a fucking great human being. But we legitimately shaved him, like his face to his neck, to his chest, to his back. You could fade him from like a 4 to a 1 all the way down to his lower back, like the hairiest individual I've ever seen. Great
I don't
dude.
know what, like, to borrow a line from Kevin Clancy. He had this, like, everyone has a price to do something. I know that's also the $1 Million Man. Everyone has a price. But he, he'd be like, everyone will do something. Like there is a dollar amount where you will basically do anything for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is for me to shave my beard. Like I have not been clean shaven since 2011.
Yeah, I think it's a difference in approach though with what you and I are talking about, and I think it makes a lot of sense given what your media presence is. But like you have like a well manicured, constantly trimmed beard. You have correct me if I'm wrong. You have a weekly hair appointment, correct?
I do, yes.
To get a haircut. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So I go months at a time without shaving or getting my haircut. So when that's no exaggeration in either case. So when I do either one of them, I generally, not that I'm worried about the money or cost of it, but you get your money's worth, right? You make sure that if you're not going to come back, you're not going to come back for a few months. So that's what you're seeing here with the face. I'm with you. It's not my favorite look of all the looks that I have. It's probably my least favorite, but you'll probably not see me shave again until the conclusion of the baseball postseason. So we can call this my stretch run.
I hope
this
I never see it.
Just never. But I just got that razor, so it's like.
I mean, like I have an electric razor, but I'll use it to do like my neck and all that.
Yeah, maybe I'll get into like the detailing work now that I've got a 2024 era.
Get a straight razor.
Yeah, like old school, like handheld, blade. No, I'm not into that.
Have you never been shaven like that?
Like at a barber shop with some dude's like big knife thing. I have never shaven like that. No.
I'm going to tell anybody that ever has will tell you right now that it is the greatest feeling. It is the greatest shave you will ever have. There's not
I'm sure it's much better
not even
than
a
any
close
shave I've given myself.
Not even a close second.
Yeah, it's nice. Every Friday. 10 a.m.
Next time we're all on site somewhere together, why don't we pursue maybe a group professional barbering shave? Yeah, we can get that out. Eamon can get it on video. It'll be great.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea. Let's mark that down.
Let's take Jayhay to a Dominican barber. See what happens.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe put something to the side of my head.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
A Dominican barber in the Bronx.
You're coming out of there, Jaime, bro, for sure.
Jaime.
No more Jayhay.
Maybe get like a chicken
flavor
to the side of my head.
Yeah.
You can't really get like a nugget in this because it just looks like a lump. People will be like, well, what's that lump thing on the side of your head? And be like, well, it's a nugget. It's like, well, what kind of nugget?
I had a Dominican barber in New York. It was awesome.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. The hot towel, the whole shebang. It's perfect.
I go to more of like a salon, like a ladies primarily salon.
I do that for the top.
My mom goes to the same place that I do, actually.
I go to a salon for the top and I go to a barber for the beard and the sides.
Oh, wait. So are those two stops on the same day?
No. I do the top every 5 weeks, and then I do the sides and the beard every week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that an experience you tend to enjoy, or is that like a, goddamn, this is like maintenance for the car sort of thing?
Well, the salon is right near 98.5 the Sports Hub. So I will, every 4 or 5 weeks, I'll hit the salon and then go from the salon to Sports Hub because it's on the way, make it convenient. But the barber's in Saugus. It's a kid I went to high school with. Shout out to Marcianos. Yep. Yep. Got me looking right. It's always it's always important to have a barber that you have a good relationship with because like they want to do a good job. Like you, especially when they know that you're on camera for a living, like you want them to be like, this is the cut that I'm going to put the most effort into today. Cause I know that like he's going to end up being like a walking billboard for my barbershop.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. I think it's probably a stretch to imagine that I'm ever going to be the walking billboard for any particular barbershop.
Jayhay, you've got great moss. Like if you ended up doing like some fucking Dennis Eckersley shit to your hair and then you didn't wear hats as much, people would be like, "Oh my God, like it's your hair is underappreciated."
Thank you. I think we could just kind of wrap it there, right? I think that's a nice note to end on, given where we started. Thank you.
You ever think about being a mustache guy?
Like just mustache without the beard accompaniment?
Yep.
I've thought about it, and I'll tell you what, when I shave, sometimes I like to like leave parts of it on and then go show my wife Allie, the look that I've got going on.
Mhm.
I've done the mustache only appearance. The reaction wasn't super positive.
So can we just, is there any way that we could get you to do a pod with no hat, flowing locks, mustache, just to try it on?
100%, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we don't have to.
I just want to see
there's
what the
no
deal
like
is.
incentivizing really. I'll just do that. And
Okay.
Yeah. So since I'm not going to be, so I gotta get it back together, but we'll focus on the mustache and then we'll take the rest of it off. And, I'll make sure the hair's, looking good that day, and we'll see what the reaction is.
I feel like the reaction is going to be super positive. And then you just got to take that back to Allie and be like, listen, I like to give the people what they want, and the people want this, and I got to give it to them.
Well, I think our marriage is harmonious enough where if it's what's best for the career, it's what's best for the family, and that's what we'll end up doing.
Right.
So if flow plus mustache is what the people tell us they want, then that's what they're gonna get.
I think that's what they want.
Yeah, well,
I can hear them screaming outside right now. Mustache. Yeah, they fucking love it.
Well, let's pursue that then.
All right. Mustache is on.
Mark it down.
Jackson Holliday hit his first career home run. It was a grand slam.
I wonder who felt the best. I felt really good. He probably felt the best.
Probably Matt Holliday.
Yeah, probably Matt. Probably 1 Matt, 2 Jackson.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, I mean, it went on Utah Street. You hit a ball that far for your first big league home run, and it's a grand slam. It's kind of like, it was worth the wait. I feel like for whatever reason, because he's a very humble kid. He's not like some douchebag, entitled, whatever. He's very humble. Seems like a good kid. He struggled when he first got called up. I don't know why a lot of the reaction after he hit the grand slam was like, yeah, but look at his OPS. Like, he's fucking like, what were you doing when you were 19? You were drinking in the woods and pissing your pants on Saturday night. This dude's hitting grand slams in the big leagues. Shut the fuck up.
I thought it was great. I love that.
I thought it was excellent.
We get to have a different conversation about him right off the bat than the one we were having before he was demoted. And we'll see what the rest of it looks like. But obviously his season-long OPS is not super relevant to me or presumably to the Angels moving forward. It's what he's doing with this new opportunity. And I know that was his only hit of the game, but he also only struck out once. And a home run is great. So, self-explanatory, but it would be really cool if he stuck for lots and lots of different reasons. Jordan Westberg's injury being, on that list, but it was awesome because it was also an aesthetically cool shot. He kind of there was a lot of height to it, some distance, and he kind of leaned back. It was cool.
Yes. It was a great moment for baseball. And if I'm Jackson Holliday, I'm telling whomever that gives me the numbers, just give me from the second call up on. I don't care about that first call up. It's a wash. I want to know now that I'm back, what are those numbers? And just focus on that. You don't have to, when you're in big league ballparks and you look up at the video board and you see the batting average and the OPS and all that, don't worry about that. Just worry about, this is the second call up. This is my second chance. This is what I've done with it since I've been up here. And you move from there. It's really all you can do. Were you a scoreboard watcher, Dallas? Did you ever, I know you weren't like a velo guy, but were you ever like looking up and being like, oh, fuck, my ERA is 4.96? Shit. Like, did you ever look at that stuff?
Nope. Didn't matter. Nothing you can do about it. In the moment, all you can do is do your job.
What about on the opposite end of the spectrum? You ever taste yourself when you're out there being like, oh, I'm leading the big leagues in shutouts. So throw that up there.
That's not up there, but legitimately the last time that I, like, when you say like it, yeah, you can see the numbers, like, but in terms of going out in my outing and knowing that I needed to have 6 scoreless to get to this number, like, nope, not at all. That is so far down on the priority list of concerns when you are going out and trying to compete. Like, and that might be different for somebody else who lets the numbers motivate them. who's motivated by the statistical relevance of each and individual performance, and that drives them. I think at times what can happen is you can let a run of success start to blind you, and you can also let a run of misfortune blind you, right? You go into an outing doing what you've done, maybe not paying attention to things and not paying attention to what some of the data is telling you or the numbers are telling you or the recency bias is showing you, and you just go in there stubborn and you haven't made the necessary adjustments. And one could say, well, why would I? Look how things have been going my last 3 or 4 starts. Why would I flip the script? Well, it's because you have to adjust to what you're seeing. That's how this game works. And then on the flip side, you can get buried by a terrible run. You don't want to do that. You look up at the numbers and you tell yourself, fuck, I have a 9 ERA, or I'm hitting 186. Like, that does you no good to stare at that shit.
Who is the most notorious scoreboard watcher for their own stats in your playing days?
I mean, there were guys who were, numbers driven for sure. Guys that you could hear talk about their numbers and talk about that shit. Like I just was never, that never concerned me at all. Never, it was nothing. And honestly, it was somebody, like, if I'm being completely candid, when I hear that kind of talk, I don't want to be around those type of people. Like, if that's what you're valuing in this moment in time right now, that is a very egocentric and that's how I view that conversation in a team environment. And it's weird to say that because we play the most individualistic team sport there is. And so what you're doing individually is noted and it's impacting what we're doing as a group. But I also like to think that the biggest statistic at the end of it all, the W, is what you're after. And that's what your mindset should be publicly anyway. So you want to talk about that shit in BP and the clubhouse, and you know what? Talk about that when you're gaming with your boys and it's just you on the thread with you and 3 or 4 of your homies. Like, do that.
So you don't want to name names is what you're saying?
Probably not.
But you have a name in mind.
Yeah, there's a couple people.
Interesting. Pussy. Clayton Kershaw, for the first time in his career, failed to record a strikeout in a start. I believe his consecutive run of starts recording a strikeout was a major league record, Jayhay? Was that correct? Damn. Correct. 400 and something? 40 something? Some shit like that.
Pull it up.
I don't know that I super care about this record.
No,
falling.
it's 423.
423 consecutive starts to start his big league career, recording at least one strikeout, was brought to an end last night at the hands of the San Diego Dads. I
mean, 16 years ago was the last time. Just under 16 years ago was the last time this happened to him.
Damn.
It was a relief appearance.
Well, there you go. 3 2/3, 6 hits, 7 runs, only 3 of them earned. He walked a guy, did not strike out a batter, and allowed a home run. So for Clayton Kershaw, his first 2 starts of the 2024 season, 7 2/3 innings, 12 hits, 9 runs, 5 of them earned. He's walked 3, struck out 6, and then gave up that home run yesterday. So a little bit of a bumpy start to the beginning of Kershaw's season, but I think the real thing to take out of this series, fellas, is that the San Diego Padres have taken the season series from the Los Angeles Dodgers for the first time. For the first time since Dallas Braden himself led the did you lead the league? Yeah, led the league in complete game shutouts. That's the last time this happened. Think about that. The San Diego Padres have taken the season series from the Dodgers for the first time since Dallas Braden led Major League Baseball in complete game shutouts. Dallas, your thoughts?
Bets heads are falling off. That's the thoughts. Clayton Kershaw is not striking anybody out, and the Padres have taken the season series. Is this the turning point? Is this the fork stuck in the road? No, not at all. Dodgers are going to be just fine. Clayton Kershaw probably going to be just fine. Whether he's striking people out or not, I think we can understand that the stuff is probably a tad diminished. It's not what it once was. Is he going to get his absolute tit slit? Probably not happening either. But I think somewhere in the middle. What does that mean? Dodgers are going to be just fine. That's all that means.
I'll be the guy. I'll be him.
I'll be him.
I am worried about Clayton Kershaw, and maybe you're saying he'll be just fine in the sense that he's already a Hall of Famer and one of the greatest pitchers we've ever seen and all of that, and he'll be just fine because, that's all that matters. But like, I have real concerns if there's any hope of him contributing in a meaningful way in the postseason after what we've seen right now. Like,
I don't think anybody worries about what he's going to bring into the postseason. Like, I think we all kind of expect, like, don't know if we're going to see 5 out of Kershaw. Like,
no. I'm just saying, like, if he's fuck seeing 5. Like, I'm saying, like, is he making a start for them in the postseason?
Oh,
Is he pitching for them? Because if he's not making a start, is he realistically going to be a guy who's pitching out of the bullpen? Are they simultaneously? It would be hard to, if he's ambulatory, that they're leaving Clayton Kershaw off the roster. But like, let's honestly think about the last 3 times now that we've seen Clayton Kershaw on a mound in the professional setting. Right, he's made 2 starts now, correct? This season, and his final start last season was obviously the disaster series-altering start against the Diamondbacks in the postseason, and that was awful. His first start back was fine. And this start was awful. And I know there was a surgery in between those 2 things, but that doesn't make me more optimistic about where we're headed from here. I know my expectations for Kershaw have been in check. I think the podcast's expectations have been in check, but like, just as it relates to, I think it is a huge problem that, he didn't strike out a single guy, that all of his peripherals are worse. I know it's a very limited number of innings, but I am concerned. And I will also be the guy to say that I'm now officially intrigued by what we have going on in the NL West. I think there is, obviously the Dodgers are the overwhelming statistical favorite to win the division with a 4.5 game lead on the Padres and 5 on the Diamondbacks. But that's basically half of the lead that it was 2 or 3 weeks ago when we were having this conversation and the Dodgers were just kind of plowing through and nobody was threatening them. Both of those teams, the Padres and the Diamondbacks, are playing much better baseball and winning at a much higher clip than they have at really any other point this season. We spent as much time on the Padres as we did any other team on the trade deadline acquisition or a podcast, for good reason. To Dallas's point about the relievers that they acquired, I just think that we're talking about a 4.5 or 5 game lead. Like, that's a gap that can be overcome, I think, given what we're seeing with the Dodgers injury issues. I'm just now officially intrigued. And I never thought I would be.
Speaking of being intrigued, can we talk about how the National League wild card went from kind of a joke where you could potentially have a losing record and make the playoffs to now the D-backs are 7 games over 500 and they're the 3rd wild card? Like, the National League wild card picture has become much more respectable than I think the last time we took a peek at it.
In a week, remember? Like, and I find what Jayhay just said interesting, because if I'm correct, we were drawing the line at teams who were about 4 games out or so, 5 games out or so, as whether or not they were even competitive in this picture, right? And now here we are talking about a division race that has been whittled down to 5 games, and now that's intriguing. And now here we look at the wild card picture, and for the first time, we have more than just the Marlins and Rockies as teams that are a little further on the outside looking in than they ever really have been. The Cubs at 6.5, the Nats 9 out, the Reds 5.5 out, the Giants 4.5 out after getting their ass kicked the first game of the series by the A's. They picked their shit up and got it together last night against the Athletics, splitting the series. So they sit 4.5 out.
Or Logan Webb did.
That's where that NL wild card picture has gone from in a matter of a week and a half. It went from it being a 10-team picture to about like outside of the teams that hold the spot, a 4-team picture, right? If the Giants are in that at 4.5. Outside of that, you got the Pirates, you got the
It's a
Cardinals, you got the
17
Mets.
picture.
Well, I meant
yeah. I know
Like
you
for
guys
the
are saying
last
the same
spot.
thing.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I was excluding the 3 teams that were already in the wild card spots. So I was just looking at the Mets, the Cardinals, and the Pirates and the Giants, like that 4-team picture. But obviously the Braves, Padres, Diamondbacks holding a wild card spot are a part of that.
I'm very surprised. And I feel like I don't know that I owe the D-backs an apology, but I will say that I had written them off. I did not have them factoring into any type of playoff race this year. Credit to them for going out and making some moves at the deadline, and they're winning baseball games. Like the D-backs are in it. They're in a playoff spot. The Mets are a half game out right now. The Cards are a game and a half out. What teams do you ultimately think it'll come down to? Like the Braves are in, the Padres are in. Are you able to comfortably say that those teams are in? Like there's not a lot of separation right now. I don't even think people realize between the Atlanta Braves and the D-backs in the 6th spot.
I'll say this. I am pretty darn confident that the wild card teams will come from the group of 5 that are currently at the top of the heap. Braves, Padres, D-backs, Mets, Cardinals. Like I think if I'm going to be surprised by the outcome, it's if a team outside of those 5 teams sneaks in. Pirates, Giants, Reds, Cubs, whoever you want to name. I think the teams that are best equipped to do this announced themselves at the trade deadline with their moves, either because they made great moves like Dallas, I know, loves the Fetty acquisition, or just because of, what their intentions were, like with the Mets going out and getting the help that they did. So I think it's from those top 5 teams. Anything else would be extremely surprising to me.
Yeah. Crazy. I mean, it's crazy how the National League wild card went from a joke to this is what's wrong with the new playoff format. We're going to have teams 3 games under 500 getting into the playoffs to you've got a battle right now for that 6th wild card spot, 3rd wild card spot, where the D-backs are 7 games above 500. And they came back from the dead. That was a team that was dead in the water for much of this 2024 baseball season. But, not to move away from the subject of the Padres and the Dodgers, this quote from Will Smith, I feel like this is going to end up on a lot of quote cards. There's going to be memes made about this. This quote will make the rounds in October if things do not go well for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Will Smith said, we'll come out of it. No doubt about it. We're the Dodgers. We're the best team in baseball. I feel like he could have just left it at we're the Dodgers. That would have been fine. If he just said, we'll come out of it, no doubt about it. There's no problem so far. I think many players on many teams would say that about their own clubs. And then you can say, we're the Dodgers. And if you say we're the Dodgers, that means, yeah, like we've been there. We've done that. We win the division every year. Like, we've done this. We've been around the block. We're the Dodgers. No one's going to push back on that. But to say we're the best team in baseball when you have the, 5th best record? 1, 2,
well,
3, 4,
right now, you're not even the best team in the National League.
No.
Like, and I understand what Will Smith is saying. 5th best
record in baseball, 2nd best record in the National League.
Yeah,
and I get it. On
Smith,
paper, on paper, you want to make that argument, fine. But I don't even think on paper right now with all the injuries that they've had that they can even unequivocally say that.
Well, that's where, he knows that he has a guy by the name of Walker Buehler waiting in the wings. And when Walker Buehler gets his shit together, you plug him in, things look just a little bit different than they do right now. And I think a lot of that is probably born out of remembering who's been a part of the roster. And then sometimes you forget who's actually active and who can make the impact right now. Like knowing that Dustin May's played baseball for the Dodgers is very different than Dustin May impacting the Dodgers right now. And I think stuff like that is probably factored into a comment like that. But you just pull back. He's like, look, we've got 3 MVPs at the top of our lineup. We've got me in our lineup as well. I'm pretty fucking good. We just got the best available starting pitcher on the market. Like what about what I'm saying is incorrect? We've just bolstered our roster. Like we've got a higher floor in terms of depth than we feel like a lot of people around the league. So where am I wrong? Where's Will Smith wrong?
I'm closer to that end. Like I sort of don't have a problem with it. Even the addendum that they're the best team in baseball, like from his perspective. So like who would stake a claim to that right now? Like, so you want to tell me the Phillies are better? Okay, well, they've been playing like dog shit. What have they lost? Like 5 straight series, 6 straight series, something like that. Just got swept by the Yankees. And like, it's not like the Phillies have hung banners, like World Series banners. In fact, they haven't hung World Series banners more recently than the Dodgers. So, and if, to his point, if you want to say the Orioles or the Yankees, it's like, well, guys, what have they done recently that makes them better than the proven track record that we, looking around to your point, the guys who might not be there this second contributing, but will be there eventually. I don't know. I know they're fifth in win percentage or whatever, but I'm supportive of his confidence.
And like the things that you said about Kershaw, the things that we understand about Clayton Kershaw, I promise you, Will Smith looks at Clayton Kershaw just a little differently, right? He has just a little different level of bias towards what Clayton Kershaw is maybe capable of doing. So that's all factoring in. And in my opinion, that's where like the internet troll sort of approach comes into sport. Is it's really easy to take anything that a player is saying to try to sort of inject confidence or take a stance on how good they feel they or their team is. It's really easy to take anything they say in that regard and flip it and then try to grill them at the end of the year. Oh, I think we have a chance. Oh, shit, he thinks they have a chance. And then you get knocked out at the end of the year. It's like, oh, where'd your fucking chance go? Where'd your chance go? Thought you had a chance. It's like, yeah, I thought we had a chance. That's pretty fucking normal to say. Oh, how about that chance now, motherfucker? Oh, yeah, we lost because that's what happens in sport. Whoops.
Well, Dallas, take me back to player mode, Dallas. If you're on the Dodgers right now, are you thrilled that Will Smith said this? You kind of like when you guys are kind of like licking your wounds and you're down right now, you really want to put a target on your back when you're not in a position to defend yourself, really?
It might be, that's, again, this is a matter of perspective, a matter of the personality that the group is either taking on, can take on, or can filter out quickly. And that is, what, are you afraid to go out there and play baseball? Do you not want anybody to know that we got 3 MVPs at the top of our lineup? Are we trying to hide that? Are you afraid of everybody else's best effort? Because if so, I'm going to need you to hit the fucking door. Like the idea that and I understand what you're saying. Oh, but you're not playing well. Should this be the moment that you pedestalize yourselves? Should this be is there any thought to trying to light that fire? Is there any thought to just trying to tell everybody in the room, maybe with one comment, hey, remember, boys, we're the fucking Dodgers and we're pretty good at this thing. And we all know that baseball can have the best in the world looking infantilized at times. So just remember, you're the Dodgers. We're the Dodgers. All right? We're the best team in baseball. Let's fucking go. And again, to Jayhay supporting what I said about looking at the roster and having the confidence, how could you not think you're the best team in baseball if you're on that team? I can't have you thinking any other way.
It's fair. I'm just asking, Dallas.
Well, now you know.
If I were on that team, I'd be like, shut the fuck up, please. You suck right now. Don't say that.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the time. But again, Will Smith, something that I think maybe folks don't necessarily. Will Smith is one of those quiet leaders in that clubhouse. And so for Will Smith to come out and say something like right this, now. I think is something to take note of. More so than the comment itself, maybe more that Will Smith is being vocal about it.
Sure. Mitch Garver was being vocal. These comments were jarring. You know, this is an individual that last year performed really well. This year, not so much. This is what he had to say. Mitch Garver of the Seattle Mariners. It's probably the hardest I've ever had to grind. This is by far the worst I've ever played in my career. Tough on myself and my family with getting death threats, the retire and you suck and fucking kill yourself and all that shit. It's getting old. The only way I change it is if I play better, but it's like continuing right now. So the worse I play, more here, and rightfully so, I'm not playing well. I've already accepted the fact that I'm not going to hit above 200 this year, and I don't know. It might not get better. Who knows? Maybe it just gets worse. I don't know. But I show up to the field every day prepared to play, prepared to get better, and work hard and control on what I can control. And the people out there that say certain things and say whatever they want, I think I bring a lot to this team. I've never quit anything, certainly not going to quit this. They're going to have to rip the jersey off my back. That's fine. That's an easy way out. I could happily retire right now, go home and live a great life with my family. That's not what I do. I made a 2-year commitment to this team. They believe in me. My teammates believe in me. So it's a matter of just making it click. And when it does, good things will happen. So why are fans like this? Why? I mean, I can understand being upset, but like saying shit like that, I will never understand.
It's not fan specific, dude. This is an indictment on our society. Like, not to zoom out and get so far away from baseball. But
you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Dallas. Like, because
I don't want to have the conversation though, because it's a baseball podcast. Like, it just straight up. Think about the sort of climate we're in, the sort of season we're in right now in our society. There, you see it every day. And everybody is emboldened to do the same thing. All right. You say what you want to say because there is no retribution. You will have zero accountability for your words. And it's fun. It's almost fun to do now in society to just beat down individuals from a distance because it feels like there's no direct impact. I didn't say it to their face. So like, can't they just get over words? Oh my God, it's a screen. Do they really take it seriously? And we have proven science behind how this impacts the human brain, and society is the scourge of individuals who do this. And that's it's not seeped over into fandom. It's always been this way. It's just now at everybody's fingertips. Mitch Garver can't get on his phone and look through the same stuff that we all look through because he's a part of it. And now he sees his name. He sees the messages. People are reaching out to him directly. And it's like, well, in the 1940s, you were either going to have to be on my train car, staying in the hotel, or at the bar that I'm going to for you to ever have this face-to-face with me. Now, because I exist in the public forum, I can't get away from it. It's the only thing that I can see. And society has taken an opportunity to head full steam into the wrong direction on how we communicate with each other as human beings. And this is just an example of it. And I feel fucking horrible that these athletes have to deal with this shit. I've had these conversations. My nephew has gone from high school to the collegiate level. And I've watched the shit that him and his teammates have to deal with as high school baseball players that are not on anybody's top 5 round draft boards. Okay. But they're competitive. They're Division I talented kids. And the kind of shit that I hear from the stands to these kids from some of their classmates and other, I'm just like, we would legit be hooking up after the game. Like, we would be fucking chunking after the game, like, all bullshit aside. And now you have that on the social media level. And it's just, think about what these professional athletes are supposed to do. They're supposed to exist in a public forum so they can grow their brands, be available, blah, 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 right? Well, maybe that's not for everybody. And so when you have individuals who are just trying to sort of be present because that's the thing to do, and they're just fucking scrolling before they get to the yard on the bus ride there, this is the stuff that they're dealing with. So they don't have the freedom to retreat, and they don't have the freedom to put up a wall and try to focus, because then they get called a coward. Then you get called somebody who can't handle the pressure. And it's like, do I have any time to sift through this on my own as a human and try to figure out how to handle this, how to tackle this? I don't. You want to know why I don't? Because the team that you love has decided to pay me money, and that means I have to bat 1,000 and throw a CG shut piece every time out. And if not, then I have to listen to why I'm fucking terrible.
And it's not just sports. I mean, I don't get it as much anymore, but there was a place that I used to work where it would be every single day. Like, I've definitely gotten the kill yourself and all that stuff. Like, hope you get fired. Like, the internet's just a shitty, mean place. Like I said, I don't get it as much anymore. Still, it'll happen every now and then.
You did, dude. You should see some of the shit, Jared. You should see some of the shit that comes my way now, bro. Like every morning. Oh, you haven't you haven't quit yet? Kill yourself. You're not going to have a job next year. You haven't. I can't believe you carry water for this owner. Blah blah blah. Kill yourself. I can't believe, like. Do you realize where your family? Like you're dragging your family through the mud, trying to be this this martyr for the A's. You should off yourself. Like every day.
It's not like for me, I'm hardened to it now because of, and it's awful to say, but I'm hardened to it because of how much I've experienced it. I think in the earlier years, I mean, it really, really, really got to me. But now I'm at the point where, you know, when people say shit, I think I kind of just have a rule where, if you say something like awful like that, I'll just mute you, whatever. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of a block, but I'll block someone only if they're like spamming. If you just say the same thing over and over and over again, and you're just like insulting in the same way over and over and over, and you're under every single tweet saying it, then I'll block you. Like, then you're just being annoying. But I'm much more comfortable just like reading something horrible about myself and just moving on with my day. Like I don't like respond to it anymore. I don't know if it's a mixture of there's only so many times you can say the same insult and have the same impact on me, I guess. So I don't know. Right. But these athletes, I mean, if you're good, you're probably not getting stuff like that a lot. And then you have a really bad season, and now maybe someone like Mitch Garver is experiencing something like this for the first time. And like that first time when you get told to kill yourself or you suck or fucking retire or I hope you get fired or this and that, start talking about your family, start bringing up government names of people in your life. Yeah, that shit sucks. And like, that's not easy to deal with like in the very beginning.
No, it's tough, but that's why I think there should be a real focus on how players, especially minor leaguers, are coming up and dealing with this stuff. And I think there is an effort to try to focus on that because it is an extremely, extremely toxic pool that players have to either wade in or try to wade around on the outskirts of, because unless you just choose to completely remove yourself from the social media aspect of what you're doing as an athlete, you know, because your highlights are going to be posted, right? Your homer gets posted on Instagram, your homer gets posted on TikTok, and you might want to see that. And what does that lead to? Scrolling. What does that lead to? Maybe inevitably seeing a comment that you don't like. And that's, it's unavoidable. So I always just try to take the perspective, social media, every time I open an app. I'm not here to cure cancer. I'm not here to bring the world together. I'm not going to be the dude to do that. I'm going to let what's going on in the world, I'm going to let it entertain me. And I'm going to look at it. And when I see people projecting that kind of stuff, I legitimately try to find a place in my heart where there's 5 minutes and I can say, you know what, man? I have been in a place where I have attacked and I have lashed out because I was looking to defend myself and the shit feelings that I had inside of me. I was confused. And only with growth and maturity do you start to gather an understanding that this is people having a really bad day. And the best thing that they can do for themselves, the best way that they know how to process this, is to fire their arrows in a direction where they don't care where the arrow lands, and they don't have fear of that arrow coming back to them. And that's what social media gives you. It gives you a free range, firing range, where the bullets don't come back at you per se physically. So you can shoot, close the app, and you don't have to worry about it. So I would just encourage people, players as well, to understand that you're not gonna solve world peace through these apps or on these apps. It quite literally should be a moment to scroll up, watch the homer, taste yourself, say thanks to a fan, and get the fuck out of there. And know that the other people who are screaming shit are just miserable. They are miserable.
Yeah. I think it's different for someone like me versus someone like Mitch Garver, where if you actually are performing poorly, then the comments hurt more when they're right. Like if they're like, you fucking suck and this and that, it's like, I know I suck right now. Like I'm not trying to suck. Like I want to hit the ball hard. I want to win baseball games. Like, it's easier for someone in my position if it's like, you fucking suck and this and that. It's like, well, no, like, we have two of the biggest baseball podcasts in the world. Like, what exactly do I suck at? Like, you're jealous. With a baseball player that's struggling, I couldn't even imagine, like having to walk out in front of a sea of 35,000 and punch out 3 times and roll into a double play and then go read about how much I suck after when I'm already beating myself up because I suck. That's another level of a deep, dark place in between the ears that I would never want to be.
And so let's take an encounter that we've had on this podcast, right? You talk about telling a player or saying that a Major League Baseball player sucks. Now, you're not attacking that individual personally. You're not like, you son of a bitch, you're a piece of trash and you're fucking terrible. But you're just like, he sucks. And you're saying that based on the statistical performance, right? And what that player hears, to your point about knowing that the performance has been lacking, what they're hearing is somebody who cannot do what they do now critique what they do. And in that moment, it's like, oh, okay, how I'm performing might not be great, but the idea that you could never even be on this same level as me, I guess I just have to we're just going to overlook that. We're going to blow right past that, I guess. And I'll just give you the foundation. I'll give you the leg to stand on to tell me that I'm not good. Okay. And that's where the mindset goes, is like you get defensive. It's like, hold on, one of us is in the big leagues and one of us is not. So you tell me who sucks. Like if we want to look at it through that lens based on physically performing at the highest level, you don't even get to have an opinion because we're not on the same level. So once you get here, then I'll let you tell me how good or good I'm not. And that's how the athlete looks at it. And from the other side,
how the athlete looks at it.
So that's what, because ultimately there's no defending that, right? Like if we're talking about physically performing and you can't even get on my level, then yeah, that's why your voice doesn't matter. That's why the noise coming out of your mouth doesn't. Well, that's what I was talking about, why athletes should try to really focus on knowing that when you hear stuff like that, you just have to filter it out and know that it's coming from a place that you don't even need to be swimming in. You don't belong in that place as an athlete.
So for context for the situation that you're talking about, because I am cognizant of athletes that hear things about themselves that make them feel bad. I won't say a guy sucks unless you fire the first shot. The individual in question fired the first shot. So I was like, all right, your protective shield has come down. Now you can get it. I would never, if he was just out there struggling for the Red Sox, I would never just be like, well, this guy fucking sucks and blah, blah. Like I wouldn't do that. But since he didn't want to play nice, then I didn't play nice. I'm just better at not playing nice because I'm kind of a professional in that regard. But I am cognizant of things that we say on here having they can impact a player's mindset. I don't want to do that. When I put together the rundown, I'm putting together stories where I'm like, yeah, we can highlight this person, like this person's doing good. This story could be funny. This story has historical significance. Very rarely am I going to be like, oh man, like fuck this guy, like this guy's a piece of shit. Like I just not going to do that. But for Mitch Garver, I hope that he takes a page out of Brent Rooker's book. Brent Rooker, I know that he just went viral recently because someone had messaged him on Instagram saying like, hey man, like, you fucked up my parlay. And he was like, my brother, I cannot express to you how much I don't give a shit. Like
No. You have it backwards.
What?
The dude cashed out his parlay and then posted about it. And Brent Rooker was like, oh, you sold me. Like you cashed me out. Like I had a homer. Things would have been very different for you. And he was like, my brother, I could not care more about the bet. And it's like, well, you could care. You bet on me to perform. And then I didn't, and you cashed out. And now you're tweeting about it.
I thought it was, you sold me yesterday, one leg away from 21K, and you could only hit singles. My brother, I cannot even begin to express how much I do not care.
No, you do care. You do care. You care a whole lot.
No. This is, Brent Rooker said, I do not care.
Brent Rooker said, I do not care?
Yes. It's a person DMing Brent Rooker saying, you sold me yesterday. I was one leg away from 21K and you could only hit singles. And then Brent Rooker,
Dallas got the color blurbs mixed up, I think.
Yes. I thought that was the other dude.
No, you got it mixed up. Then Brent Rooker said, my brother, I cannot even begin to express how much I do not care. So that's what a lot of I think some of the mean interactions are people being like, yeah, you fucked up my parlay or whatever. But Brent Rooker quote tweeted this exchange to basically say like, hey, it's all in good fun, but I'm going back to not being on Twitter. He's like, I'll see you in the off season. So he's one of those guys. Yeah, he said, that being said, I'm logging off Twitter. See you guys in the off season. That's a dude that is like, I enjoy what Twitter brings. I love to interact with the fans, but during the season, I ain't looking at this shit. I'll see you in November. Like, see you later. Like, for now, I'm not letting the comments that exist on here enter my brain and affect my performance. I wish more guys were like that. And I've had talks like this with Red Sox players being like, dude, just fucking delete the app. Like, you don't have to delete your account, but delete the app off your phone. And they'll be like, yeah, dude, I did it. And I'll be like, a week later, I'd see him at the, show me your phone. It's on the phone. Like, they're still they'll name search. They'll like read their replies and feel sorry about themselves. And I'm not trying to blame the player for other people's shitty behavior, but there are things that you can do to prevent it from impacting you the way that they get impacted.
Well, this is what social media has done, right? If you're at school and you see a group of kids over off to the side and a couple of them have looked over at you, they turn back and they're snickering. Is there a chance they're talking shit about you? Possibly. Will you ever know whether or not they were talking shit about you? No. And so you went to your next class, right? Well, now you have the ability to search that conversation and figure out who was saying what and if they were saying it. Because if they're tweeting that shit out or putting it out in the ether, you can find your name. It doesn't have to be tagged. And you can see that somebody said, Jayhay, why the fuck did he shave his face? Oh my God, did you see Jayhay's face? What the fuck is not on Jayhay's face? Like, now it's confirmed that the snickering and the conversation was about you. And you're like, well, fuck, what do? I just got this sweet razor. I like it. Do I got to throw this fucking thing away and start growing shit out again?
It's a question
what do I do?
I'm going to have to ask myself.
Like, that's the fucking cycle, man.
I don't have a ton to add to this, but I do have two things I just wanted to say because, I would fail miserably as a high-level athlete because I'm entirely too sensitive. So just about the idea that there are things you can do to insulate yourself or whatever, the balance there. Like, I just think about how much shit Mike Trout took for not wanting to absorb the full responsibility of all the social media and putting yourself out there and marketing and advertising that would have come along with being the quote unquote face of baseball. Like, we spent the better part of half a decade talking about why isn't this guy embracing being the face of baseball? And we just kind of a general, not necessarily this podcast, but why doesn't this guy want it? Why won't he take this on? And it's like, well, maybe he was ahead of this in that sense and knew what he could handle and what he couldn't in the context of his playing career and performing at an MVP level. The second thing I wanted to say was just a little light pushback on the stuff that you guys were talking about Dallas's point about the athlete. I get the athlete's perspective where it's like, you're not as good at me at this as I am. Why do you have an opinion on it? And it's like, okay, if we follow that to its logical extreme, there's basically one person currently existing in the world who gets to have an opinion on any given topic. And that's the person who is the best at it or who knows the most about it. So like, that's a little untenable. And I do the stuff with Mitch Garver is 100% unforgivable and crazy. Like, I don't even boo at a stadium because I think that's tacky. Like, the idea of sending this sort of stuff is unthinkable. But to the idea that, like, you know, if you're a podcaster, you don't get an opinion because you were less good at baseball than the guy who's playing the game. Like, there is something of an exchange that's made when you are a professional athlete that includes feedback from people that are consuming the product and fueling the sport. Like, that doesn't mean kill yourself, but that does mean that, like, more people get to have an opinion on what's going on the field or the court or whatever than, you know, the accounting firm job down the street, because nobody's paying to view the accountant as their entertainment product. Like, that's ultimately what it is here. So, like, I understand why an athlete would be like, fuck off. Like, you weren't as good as me. Like, that's the attitude I would have if I was a high level athlete. But from the other perspective, it's like, well, there's an economy here. And part of the economy that exists is that if you are an athlete for a professional sports team that is a product of the city that it exists in, that fills the stadium with fans, then, like, opinions from those people are part of the deal to an extent.
And then that's where we get into the fandom that starts to get toxic, and they're screaming at somebody at the field, and their stance is what you just said. I'm a fan. I pay your salary. I get to say this. That right there is the root of the issue, is the belief that because there is an economic exchange here, you now get to cross the line of humanity and treat me like I am a fucking
but that's not what I'm saying.
Scumbag. No, but that's, I think, when you start, like you said, when you start to follow,
there's a sliding scale,
to
but
the
the idea
logical extreme, like, that's the logical extreme. I paid, fuck you and your family. I paid, I hope you die. I paid, you're fucking terrible, kill your entire family tree. What's wrong? I paid. This is just a game. I don't mean this. I'm just allowed to say this because I paid. This is my opinion. If I'm not here, who's paying your paycheck? If I'm not here, why are you playing? Who are you playing for? So that's the fair exchange to the logical extreme, which is that fan is now given carte blanche to say whatever they want. No. That's I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying that's where
I understand.
Yeah. I told you about the conversation that I had with a former big leaguer about that situation, where this individual told me, he's like, well, you can't say that he sucks because you can't do what he does, but he can do what you do. And I was like, no, he fucking can't. I know he can't. Many big leaguers, former and present, have tried to make a career in baseball content, and like 3 of them have been successful. One of them being Dallas, the other being Trevor Plouffe, and like maybe Mookie Betts. Am I missing anybody?
I don't know. I don't know other former guys that
make baseball content. No, not really.
Do shit that we do. No.
No. So, anyways, MLB season's in full swing, and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball or mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. How is Underdog Fun Camp going, Jake?
It's fun. It's a fun camp, and we're just having a blast.
You have some blue moons last night?
Repping blue moons. Jeremy's here. We've had a couple good nights watching the Sox blue moon walk-offs. It's been a really good time.
Love that for you. I love that for you. I feel like we kind of have to go next year. I'd love to be able to go. I know it's hard with the schedules and everything, but if we can make it happen, I would love to be there. So we'll get that going. Shout out to Underdog. Big day for Underdog yesterday. Big day for Underdog yesterday. Bill Belichick. The news broke. Everyone was excited. Went to Sports Hub yesterday. Everyone was like, oh, so your coworkers with Bill Belichick now? I was like, that's what we got going on at the Dog. Best promos in the game, best podcasts, best content in the game. That's what Underdog's doing. And we're not done. Got a long way to go. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's Jared to get up to $250 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Next topic here. Speaking of, we don't put anyone down. The White Sox have lost 17 straight. You can't. That's not.
Can we say they suck? Can we say they suck?
I feel like we're not nitpicking here.
They're on pace to win 39 fucking games. They suck. Boo.
They're going to fall short of what, 63, did I say?
I can do that. Speaking of, you can do what I can do, but whatever, we can win 39 games. Let's get the hell out there, the podcast. Wow. I saw the swings we were taking. Let's win 39 ball games.
Yeah, can we win 39 ball games with the Dinger Derby roster? That's the question.
Connor's going to carry a very heavy load in that scenario. But
Jake, tweet the poll. Can the Dinger Derby roster beat the Chicago White Sox?
They might. Listen, we got a lot of heart. If we were out there swinging our balls off in 106-degree heat, we got heart.
Well, we got no quit. That's it. You got no quit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bunch of grinders out there.
Legitimately walk into the fire to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we could have Cade swinging for us instead of pitching. He looked like he could hit a few homers.
Yeah. He counts.
Yeah.
He could dial up the strikeout when he needed to. That's for sure.
I think Connor and Cade are legitimate White Sox potential prospects at this point.
Yeah.
I think they need real serious looks. I could talk about the White Sox for an entire podcast. I'm like newly fascinated by how terrible this team is basically every day. I never thought that the 2023 A's would be summarily wiped off of the record books in the way that this team has wiped that team off. Like separate podcast, all the disgraceful stuff with Oakland and whatever. The team product, like how did they follow up and make a worse team and a team that's going to be worse by like a considerable amount? It's not even really going to be that close. The losing streaks, the win, like they're going to be worse than
two separate losing streaks. Jayhay of 14 games.
Yeah, only team in AL history to do that.
Fuck.
This losing streak started as part of a doubleheader. Well, they won on the day that this losing streak began. They won.
I mean,
good nug.
You know how I like to address the standings. So as of right now, the Chicago White Sox, they're almost they're a little over a month out of first place.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, Jared, that is indeed not good. That is not good. You're almost a month and a half out of first place. You're 40 games.
They've been outscored by 229 runs. That's more than 50 runs more than the next worst team in baseball and more than double the next worst team in the American League. They are so putrid.
They just have tough shit happening to them too. Like, and when I say tough, I mean like it's just like almost a comedy of errors, like the ball in left field, like the liner that just in the glove, out of the glove, like making a running catch. Nope, ball just ejects out of the glove. Like just little shit like that just compounds and piles up, and you're like, man, we're not doing anything. We can't throw it, we can't catch it, we can't hit it. We're not doing anything.
It's so bad there. I read a column, I think it was from the Sun-Times, that was making its way around yesterday, where the author posited that this is Jerry Reinsdorf's revenge for people who wanted him to sell the team. Like, this isn't him being cheap. This isn't him being whatever. This is vindictive, petty revenge on all of the people who have been trying to get him out and who have been, the fan base, been criticizing him. Like, that's where we're at with this 88-year-old man. This is his take, not necessarily mine. But I do know that, like, we talk about hopeless franchise situations a decent amount on this podcast, with the A's, absorbing a decent amount of that attention, the Marlins, the Rockies. I just don't think we could possibly spend enough time talking about how hopeless the White Sox. I think it's partly because they won the 05 World Series. So it's like, oh, they won a World Series like way more recently than fill in the blank team or whatever. So why should I feel badly for them? Like somebody was responding with, oh, check out the Pirates if you want to feel bad. Okay, I get it. But right now, the hopelessness that exists with this fan base in Chicago and all of the people and friends that I know who are invested in this product, and just the overall malaise of the organization with a 88-year-old guy who doesn't want to do anything with the team running it, and basically just making his versions of permanent nepotism hires throughout the organization. It's just like 139 and 123. That's what they're on track to go right now. That's just totally unacceptable. It's just crazy. And it's not like next year this whole wave of talent is scheduled to arrive like we're talking about with those bad Orioles teams or those bad Astros teams that had to endure before the LCS run and the World Series and all that.
Are you
That's
guys
years away from that?
Do you know who has the highest OPS over the 17-game losing streak?
Benintendi.
Andrew Benintendi. Leading the charge.
We call that motivation.
732 OPS for Benintendi. The next the next three dudes are not on the team anymore. Tommy Pham, Paul DeYoung, Lou Bob, and Eloy. Yeah. 598 OPS for Eloy. 638 for DeYoung. 726 for Tommy Pham.
By the way, do you see that NBC Sports Talk thing with the White Sox post-game segment or whatever? Where they were talking about
Chris Getz and was it Chris Getz?
No. Chris Getz is the GM. It was some other person, and I thought Gordon Beckham was the other guy on the deck.
Yeah.
But the guy who was super vocal about it, I don't remember who that was, but they were saying like, good riddance to Eloy. Like, can we get a thank you Orioles instead of a thank you Eloy graphic? Like, basically like, get the hell out of here, overdue, all this sort of stuff. It was just like, you just realize that there's like this poisonous vibe that has infiltrated like everything that has to do with this organization. And it's just like,
hold on.
Eloy!
No way.
That is not real. I said this, if this happened on the podcast.
Come on. Jeff Passan reporting that the Baltimore Orioles are finalizing a deal to acquire outfielder.
He's been getting it in the air.
From the White Sox. Sources tell ESPN. Are you kidding me?
All right, so all right. We don't know anything. What's the return?
Eloy, a flipping bag of balls. I wanted to say the other word.
I cannot believe it's come to that.
This is a joyous day. This is a joyous day. I've talked to you guys know where I sit with Eloy. He's that guy is as catastrophic of a failure as any player that's come through the rebuild.
Yeah. I mean, considering.
I can't believe a team would take him on. Can we get a thank you Orioles graphic made? Instead of thank you Eloy, thanks Cubs, thanks Orioles.
White Sox dump outfielder Eloy Jimenez's contract. Sending him to the Orioles.
I like
you like the dump.
Dump his contract.
So basically, he may not get anything in return. It might just be you guys pay the rest of his salary.
He dumped on us for 6 years. It's time to guys, come on.
That's crazy. That's wild.
Who's the other player, the former player? Do we know?
I don't know. Let's see if there's no like name.
I believe his name. I don't think it's a former player.
No.
It's a guy named Ryan McGuffey.
Oh, McGuff. Big Guff.
Yeah.
Chris Getz.
Yeah. NBC Sports Chicago's Ryan McGuffey. And then that's Gordon Beckham as the other dude on the desk who's like, half playing along, half, probably doing his best to survive the segment to some degree. We've, all been there, right? On different sides. I think the weirdest part about this, other than like, just the tackiness and overall lack of class involved in that thing, is it's just a little bit weird to me making that big of a deal about a guy who didn't fulfill all of his promise with the White Sox while Gordon fucking Beckham is 5 feet from you. Like, there's no way that Gordon Beckham at some point in that isn't thinking, well, hold on.
Gotta reel it in. Gotta reel it in.
Hold on. I was supposed to be like the next coming for the White Sox too, and I won't say sucked because we're going to start moving away from that on this podcast now. But yeah, Gordon Beckham was not nearly as good as everybody thought he was going to be, and that his draft stature suggested that he would be. It's just like whatever. I don't really care, but it's just kind of weird. It's like, what's Gordon Beckham supposed to say? Like, I'm going to laugh at Eloy Jimenez, who was objectively no more of a disappointment than Gordon Beckham was. Different,
and that's why doing that job when you do not have the resume of a world champion to just fall back on and go, yeah, maybe I wasn't great, but you see this guy right here? Yeah, I'm a fucking champion. When you don't have that, you got to wade. You got to wade carefully. That shook me. Or not shook me, that shocked me. But what I think about with the Eloy thing is there any thought to, and Jay, you said how toxic this is. Is it a wonder though? Because you have a guy who has managed the team and who has been a part of the pre and post game shows, who's been a part of the broadcast, who has been extremely vocal in Ozzie Guillen, much to the same tune when it comes to players and how he feels about them, right? Unapologetic. And that's a lot of the attraction that comes with Ozzie, and whether or not he is, going to be able to maintain and be the staple there because of that. But I think that reaction that we just listened to, I think is partly born out of the allowance of opinions like that to be as free flowing as they have been surrounding that organization.
I totally get it. And, it's going to cut both ways when you're producing a show like that, if that's their intention, to let it be free flowing and opinionated like that. I will say, and this is a little bit hypocritical or talking out of both sides, but it hits differently when it's, as you said, the World Series winning manager for your organization who, again, to go back to
long time. Ozzie played a long time. And I know what Jayhay is saying. He's saying you got to make sure, not that you have to make sure, but it just sounds differently coming from some place of substance in that regard. Like, you're talking about successes. Well, do you have a ring? That's where everybody's mind goes. Well, what have you done? What does your trophy case look like? And that's where you start to go back to the opinions of a player over the opinions of a fan. So think about this sort of purgatory to live in. You played the game, but you don't have a world championship. So you know more, or probably have more insight than a fan would, but you don't get to share it because you didn't win the championship. So you almost fall into a space where you're less than what the opinion of the individual who's never played it is, and you could never be a part of this opinion because you didn't win the championship. Jay, I was just kind of maybe filling in for why it hits a little different coming from Ozzie, the champion, as opposed to a guy who hasn't.
For sure. Yeah. Sorry. I think my computer needs an update or something. I don't know why it's randomly doing that. But that's what I was going to say. But it is not surprising because this has been mismanaged at every possible turn, from top down, from the La Russa stuff to obviously some of the other managerial moves and player decisions and front office hires and all that sort of stuff. So good luck to him.
Yeah. It's crazy. I tweeted this morning that like if you're like a script writer, how do you not think of a 2024 Chicago White Sox script as like the bizarro world Moneyball? It's just an Oakland A's team that has a 20-game winning streak, and you don't know how they do it. I mean, they made a bunch of shit up along the way. Like, they had the MVP of the league. They had the three-headed monster. We've had this conversation before. But having a complete bizarro world Moneyball 2002 A's team being the 2024 Chicago White Sox, where they are just trying so desperately to get to that 20-game losing streak, And when they get it, boy, we did it. We finally did it. And they're right there. Like we could end up doing the podcast on Monday, being celebrating 20 straight. Who do they play this weekend?
No idea.
I hope it's someone. I mean, it doesn't matter who the fuck it is. They're going to lose.
Sorry, I was pulling it up. It's
the Twins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At Minnesota.
Do you think
any team, to your point, any team who would have been like, it would have been like, that's going to be tough.
Yeah. Do you think we come back here on Monday and the streak's still alive?
I feel like just because it's the Central, they'll pull one out. It just feels that way.
I'm going to say the streak is still alive because the start that Crochet has is against Bailey Ober, who's been throwing the shit out of the ball too. So I think the Twins are actually going to take that one.
Crochet has a 5 ERA over this losing streak.
No, I know. And he's not throwing any innings. I don't know what his contributions are really going to look like over the rest of the season, which is another reason to be super pessimistic about their ability to hit 40 wins.
If I was Crochet, I'd be like, you know what? I'm not taking the ball for anybody who isn't going to extend me, and I'm not taking the ball for anybody who isn't going to score. So unless you guys can tell me that you're going to score runs, I think I'm out today.
I'm only pitching in road games because I have to see you score in the top of the first inning for me to go out there and pitch. Otherwise, get that opener ready.
That's what I was just going to say, Jay. I might be slated as today's starter, but based on the first inning, I may or may not see the mound. So just be prepared.
Like the Sunday starter is Flexen, who's got a 5.91 ERA over this losing streak. Let's go White Sox. Let's get it done. Just a quick note here. Bobby Witt Jr. in the month of July, I think we put a graphic out there as well, but significantly better than every other player in Major League Baseball in the month of July. The numbers led Major League Baseball hitting 489. The next closest was 395, so almost 100 points better than the next. On-base percentage was 520. The next closest was Aaron Judge at 582. He slugged 833. Brent Rooker was right up his ass, Dallas.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm looking at, so I actually, as we're talking about this,
and Lawrence Butler was third.
Oh, for sure. I just got the message for Player of the Month voting. So I just got my thing for this month to vote. And it's stupid. That's the thing. Like RBI, Brent Rooker with 30, Lawrence Butler with 27, Bobby Witt Jr. in fourth with 22. On base, did you say on base?
Yeah, on base. Oh. Everything. So batting average, on base, and slug is all, and obviously OPS 1353, all Bobby Witt Jr.
Total bases.
Brent Rooker is right there. Total bases, 75
for Bobby Witt Jr., 73 for Lawrence Butler, 72 for Brent Rooker. Like, what's getting lost in this is that you've got two dudes within the top 3 to 5 on a lot of these lists, and they're on the same team.
Yeah. Extra base hits.
They're in the same lineup.
Devers with 18, Soto with 18, Butler with 18, Vladdy with 17, Suarez with 16, Brent Rooker with 16, Duran with 16, Bobby Witt with 16.
Yeah. So I'm going to feel pretty good about my AL Player of the Month pick.
You voted for Brent Rooker, didn't you?
I can't disclose that.
That's the wrong pick. Bobby Witt Jr., 44 hits in the month of July. Next closest was 10 hits away, Rafael Devers. Actually, there was quite the tie here. It looks like Rafael Devers, Vladdy Jr., Brent Rooker, Edwards, and is that Yandy Diaz?
Yanair Diaz. For hits?
Yandy. Yeah.
Yeah, for hits, Bobby Witt Jr. with 44, and then Devers, Diaz, Vlad, and Rook all had 34.
And Edwards on the Marlins.
He did not qualify.
Well, he's got 34 fucking hits.
I don't know why he's not on the list. Oh, what'd you say? Oh, no. Never mind. Yeah, you're good.
Anyways, just want to shout out Bobby Witt Jr. For the month that he had in the month of July. Could be the MVP. Who had him? Jayhay? Dallas? Jayhay.
Jay, I had Gunner.
Shit, you already know. You already know.
Yeah, my pick was way off. I had Adley.
It's all right. Still a winner.
It is to me.
Well, no. Like, he's still a winner. The pick is not a winner.
No.
Yeah.
Pick is a loser.
Fuck you guys. I think it's that time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, welcome back to Baseball is Dead Family Feud. I'm your man, Justin Havens. You guys are pretty hot lately.
Yeah.
You guys are red hot. I want to say we've got 4 or 5 wins in a row.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah. 2 of those, I think, were one and dones. So you guys are playing the best feud ball that you've ever played.
We're sinking right now.
Yep. I don't know. Today, it might all come crashing down, though. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Fun. That's great.
It's okay. I mean, don't let it get in your head. There are plenty
get
of
a little bit of
pathways to
success
victory.
and they try to fuck us immediately.
Yeah, I talked to the Discord and I said, let's fuck them. And they said, all right, Jayhay. All right. Who's going to go first between you chuckleheads?
I think, did you go first last week, Dallas?
I did. So,
All
right. Pop those off, DB. Sit there and get focused, baby.
Get your mind right.
That's right. All right, Rocket.
Ready.
All right. 5 questions. Each one we asked 100 Baseball is Dead fans. And you're going to try and pick the most popular results. Okay. Ready. Jake, you ready?
Ready.
Question number 1. Which team had the best trade deadline?
Dodgers.
Which team had the worst trade deadline?
Ooh. Fuck. Pirates.
How many more All-Star selections will Mike Trout have over the remainder of his career?
2.
The White Sox have a .243 winning percentage and are on pace to lose 123 games. How many games will they lose?
120.
Final question. Which first place team do you have the most confidence in entering August?
Phillies.
Good job. Thank you, sir. You battled.
I don't know. I don't know about that worst one. I don't know who had the worst fucking deadline. I don't know. I feel like every team feels like their own team had the worst deadline. I don't know that was that a spread out field.
It is the most. Yeah. It's fairly spread out. There are 3 double-digit answers. You did not name one of them, but you did fine overall. Jake, question: how many for the All-Star Mike Trout one? You said 2, correct, Jared?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right, Dallas, pop them on, baby.
I just got a fucking text from my wife from our neighbor. There's helicopters flying around. There's a fucking prison bus, I think, that wrecked on the freeway, and people are loose.
This is how Halloween started.
Basically, Con Air on the ground.
Yeah, like the exit to my house. So
are you gonna have them? Are you gonna have them over?
Well, we had a fucking the cops sent out a fucking alert like, hey, lock your doors, stay inside.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you need to go, let us know. All right, Dallas.
How'd we do? We do all right?
How we do? We did all right. Yep. Okay. Jared did just fine.
How many do we need?
Fine. Jared got 127 points, correct, Jake?
Shit.
Yep, that's what I had.
Yep.
God damn, boy.
Yep, nice job. So quick math here. Dallas needs 73.
Let's go, Dallas. Right. Fucking focus, my guy.
All right.
Okay. Ready, Dallas?
Ready.
Ready, Jake?
Let's do it.
Question number 1. Which team had the best trade deadline?
Dodgers. Cardinals.
Which team had the worst trade deadline?
The Giants.
How many more All-Star selections will Mike Trout have over the remainder of his career?
2. Fuck, 3.
The White Sox have a .243 winning percentage and are on pace to lose 123 games. How many games will they lose?
119.
Which first place team do you have the most confidence in entering August?
The Phillies. Fuck! Yeah, the Dodgers.
Okay, let's see here.
Fuck!
All right, let's go through the questions here.
God damn it.
So Jared got 127. We already know that, okay? Question number 1. Which team had the best trade deadline? Jared delivered the number 1 answer with 38. The Dodgers. Dallas tried that, then came through with the Cardinals. That was good for 5 points.
Ouch.
So that gets you up to 132 with 4 questions remaining. That was tied for the 5th best answer. Dodgers,
what was the second best?
Padres 15, Orioles 14, Marlins 6. And then 3 teams actually got 5. Question number 2. All right, we need, as I said, we need 68 points. Which team had the worst trade deadline? Jared said the Pirates. Jared actually got 0 points on that one, which speaks to how well.
Damn it!
Which speaks to how well he did on all the other questions, I guess.
Clean it up.
Dallas came in, and what did you say? The Gigantes?
I said the Giants.
You said the Giants. That got us 4 points.
All right.
That got us 4 points. That was tied for the 6th highest mark. The top answer was the White Sox at 22, Astros 14, Angels 12. So we're at 136. We're chugging along. We need 64 points with 3 questions remaining.
I don't like it.
Question number 3. How many more All-Star selections will Mike Trout have over the remainder of his career? Jared, you said how many?
2.
That was good for...
That's what I said.
Yep, that was good for 27 points. Dallas tried that one. Then came through with 0. That was good for 16 points. Tied for the 3rd best answer. Number 1 was the best with 29, 2, 27, 0, and 3 each got 16. So we're all the way up to 152. What's up?
Well, my answer was 3, right? I said 3. I didn't say 0.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the same point. I'm sorry. You're right. Correct. It's the same amount of points. It's 16 points.
Okay. For integrity purposes, I just didn't want to.
No, 1 and 2 were 29 and 27, and then 0 and 3 were each 16 points. So you're up to 152 with 2 questions left. So you have 48 points. 48 points needed. We got, what do we have here? 243 winning percentage for the White Sox and are on pace to lose 123 games. How many games will they lose? Jared, do you remember what you said?
120.
That's right. That was the number 1 overall answer. 21 points.
Wow. Nice round number.
Yep. Dallas came through. Dallas, you said 119, correct?
Correct.
11 points, tied for the 2nd best answer. 118 and 119 were best right after Jared. So we're up to 63. You need 37 points here on the last question. Out of 100 BID fans, which first place team do you have the most confidence in entering August? Phillies came through with 46. That was the top answer for Jared. Dallas tried that. Came through with the Dodgers instead. That was the number 2 answer, but only 24 points. We fall just short. Womp, womp.
Unfucking believable. See, I'll tell you what threw the curveball.
We got him, Jake. We got him.
This is what threw the curveball. Was like the worst deadline.
Yeah.
Like that's a tricky, because
it is
you could easily name any one of the bad teams who's not looking to get better. Mm-hmm. And so by happenstance, yes, they would have had a worse deadline than a team who's looking to get better. I don't know. That's a tough one right there. Like
that's how
all the teams who wouldn't get better. Okay.
That's how the Family Feud knife cuts sometimes. Shout out to Discord. Great job this week. Really liked the results there. And you guys will bounce back. I think I have an enormous amount of confidence in you.
I mean, this has got to be the closest that we've come without winning. Yes.
Yep.
Well, and every fucking answer is like, it just feels like every time we do this,
Dallas, we're not going to complain. Hey, Dallas, it was good. We did our best. You're not going to win every time. We did.
Fuck that.
We did our best.
That.
We did our best.
It just feels like every time I answer, it's like not the right one.
No, like when I go first, boom, we got the first answer, great. And then Jared is like, oh, well, he says what I guess, and then we pull a fucking fourth place answer out of our ass.
It's like every time I guess one, it's like not as many points as I thought it would be.
No, it's because it's not the right. I can't use that one. It's already been used. And Jared, same thing. He guesses and he can't use the answer because I've already said it.
Tough break. All right.
It's fucked up.
See you next week.
Fuck. I mean, I'm disappointed, but I'm like,
it's a good. I mean, it was
a good
dramatic.
showing.
Yeah, it was like Bobby Witt Jr.'s performance in the home run derby, and you see how he's bounced back after that.
Right.
He was like, okay, I came up a few feet, 5 feet short from tying in the finals in the home run derby and making the place go crazy. And it's like, all right, well, you know what? I'm just gonna hit 480 in July.
That's what I'm saying. We'll be back next week, Dallas. Like we got this next week. You're going first next week, so that's how I know we're good.
Yeah. You'll be in a better mental place because of that. Because then you won't, you'll get the answers that you want to get. And then
I might not even have to go.
That's the
what I'm saying.
Wow, look at the confidence. You guys have bounced back so well.
We're already over it. I'm already on to next week. I'm already on to the next feud.
I'm already thinking about
that's the Bill. Hey, dude. Bill Belichick's our colleague now, right?
Yeah.
On to the next week, baby.
Yep.
I'm on to next week already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who gives a shit, dude? Not me.
Nope. Not me. I mean, I care a lot about the feud, but from a different perspective than you guys.
I do care a lot, but this loss doesn't hurt as much as other losses in the past. We've had some bad losses. We've gotten porked a couple times.
Well, and we cut Dallas off from blaming too many other people. So
he was about to go on a 20
he was about to go crazy there.
The voters and the question asks. Yeah.
It was about to be 115 and Dallas is wrapping up his feud blaming. Yeah.
Everybody can get it.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Nugs today, Jayhay?
Yeah, I got a few nugs. You talked about Bobby Witt. I know we put a graphic out, but since not everybody follows on social, although you should follow the Baseball Is Dead account and all of our personal accounts. Bobby Witt Jr. became the 5th player ever to hit 480. It wasn't just the batting average, 480 or better with 16 or more extra base hits in a single July. And the 4 previous players, it's kind of fun. The last player to do it was the greatest player in Kansas City Royals history, and George Brett. So it's been 44 years since somebody did what Bobby Witt Jr. did. And then the other 3 are Speaker, Hornsby, and Cobb. So Bobby Witt Jr. and 4 Inner Circle Hall of Famers. Kind of cool there. Dylan Cease was not quite as untouchy as he has been in his previous starts, but still impressive. He and Jacob deGrom in 2021 are now the only pitchers in Major League Baseball history to have a 4-start stretch featuring 35 or more strikeouts and 5 or fewer hits. 2 quick hot streaks to call out. Colton Cowser of the Orioles is hitting .368 with a .03 OPS and 4 homers over his last 15 games. Ian Happ did it again last night. He homered for the 31st time in his career against the Reds. That's his most against any individual team, and his 1.023 OPS is his highest against any single franchise that he's played even more than a handful of games against. And then the last set of nugs that I wanted to share for the day, I thought you guys would find this interesting. Fangraphs posted their updated Zips playoff odds changes based on the action from the trade deadline. So inputting those players and the roster changes and all that sort of stuff. Here's a quick rundown of that. The largest percentage change in division odds went to the Orioles. In the NL, it was the Dodgers. The largest negative was the Yankees. Interesting there for the AL East. Largest percentage change in postseason odds, Royals and Mets were the two biggest gainers from the two leagues. The Rays were the biggest losers. The Rays lost 19% off of their postseason odds. The largest percentage change in World Series odds, Orioles in the AL, Dodgers in the NL, and then in the largest losers were the Rays and the Giants, which is less interesting. So arguably the two World Series favorites, or two of the three, fortified their World Series odds. And interesting to see the Royals and Mets gain so much. Royals gaining so much is just as much about the White Sox and Tigers getting meaningfully worse with their trades. So we'll see how it goes, but the playoff odds have spoken.
They sure have. Dallas, any final thoughts?
No, I was just going to touch on Brent Rooker and Lawrence Butler, the month that they had. I already talked about it.
Yeah, you said
the fact that they absolutely fucking raked in the same lineup. Yeah.
Dallas, any final thoughts? No.
Good shit.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And that's it.
Hell of a month for Lawrence Butler. 363, 408 on base, 802 slug, a 1210 OPS. Average exit velocity of 93.7. Where does that rank? It's got to be top 5.
They don't call him Law Butt for nothing.
No, it's not. He was 12. That's fine. Because you know who led in the month of July? Shohei Ohtani.
Wow. He's always doing that.
Yeah, he do be doing shit like that a lot.
Always leading things.
Most home runs in the month of July? Dallas?
What?
Most home runs in the month of July?
Brent Rooker.
Brenton Doyle of the Colorado Rockies tied Brent Rooker. They both have
with 10 or 11.
Yep. 11. The fuck, dude? Don't you call the games?
Oh my God.
I haven't called the last two. Nope.
Oh,
Trey Turner.
There you go.
Trey Turner, Marcelo Ozuna, Eugenio Suarez, Lawrence Butler. All had 10. What a month.
What a month.
The Law Dog, baby.
Yeah, he's turned himself into quite the player. Jake's takes? No, you're good. You're good. Jake's takes?
A lot of fun to watch.
I just thought it was a great first episode for little intern Jayhay here. I think we should maybe keep this guy around.
Yeah, he's really smart. He knows his shit.
Thanks. Lil Justin.
Yeah. I feel like, maybe because he lives with his parents, if he can find a space where he can, feel comfortable and be louder so to not disturb the other older folks in the home for next week, something to work on, young Justin.
All right. Good feedback. Thank you very much. I'll take it into consideration, and I'll be that much more grizzled for next week.
Yeah. And now we kind of run into the issue where if we did like a Baseball is Dead live show, meet and greet, watch party for the postseason, we don't know if this kid's going to be able to get in to the event.
Oh, come on. For the postseason, I'll be good by then, baby. I'll be full throttle on that beard.
Okay.
Well, as the case may be, the mustache. Yeah.
Right. That playoff stash. Just don't know. All right. Thank you guys for watching and listening to Baseball is Dead this week. It's been a good week. Do we know? Are we going to have our little meeting about the hot seat after this?
Oh,
I think Thursdays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the determinant. Actually, no, we know who it's going to be because we actually signed on for 2 people for this week, and then we pushed this individual to the next week. So we actually do know who. I'm not going to say it because the planning with this individual can be difficult at times. Sometimes we have him, sometimes we don't.
He's very high maintenance.
Yeah. He's been on before. Always a great listen. But the Wednesday hot seat, it's going to be a good one. If this person is available. We were told he is.
One of the top 4 or 5 baseball studio show hosts I've ever worked with.
That's right. So, all right. Enjoy your weekend of baseball, and we'll see you right back here on Monday.
We go.